Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of the Electronic Corner. Today we stay in Germany, like last week, but we go all modular. So we already know it's going to be a very interesting episode, right? Waiting for us is Dirk Pogrzeba, also known as Neversleep, and I can't wait to hear what he has to tell us and to see what he has to show us. So let's go. Hi Dirk, thanks a lot for being with us. So how are you today?
Hi, Sergio. I'm fine. Thanks a lot for having me, and I'm feeling very good. It's a warm summer day in Berlin. Today in the afternoon, I'm gonna support live performances with the Berlin Modular Society. Maybe we talk about that later. So
We
it's a
will.
nice day. Really looking forward to a lot of music today.
That's good. Yeah, same here. Pretty hot still in Italy. But anyway, let's start. Now, my first question for you is your music is influenced by early 80s analog synth bands by your own admission. So, which bands or artists would you name as your main source of inspiration?
Well, I would say I have quite a lot of influences. So the early 80s analog synthesizer um, bands and this kind of new wave thing that started in the early 80s as an answer to punk, let's say, mostly in the UK. This is just one influence, but it's a kind of a major influence because this is the time when I was raised musically. So the time, um, um, yeah, I think everybody may remember this when you're young and you listen to a specific song the first time and your jaw drops completely and you think, "What's that?" So, for example, when I remember listening the first time to a song like "Fade to Grey" by Visage, or stuff from Kraftwerk or Depeche Mode or Ultravox. This was like jaw dropping in a way, and I always found it really super interesting. This deep sound design. Really, now obviously I know it's analog synthesizer, so you have this warmth and the deepness in the sound, very sophisticated sound design. And in the early 80s, it was also very reduced in a way sound design, but it was always focused on a musical idea, on a song, on a composition, and this is what I found really interesting. And so other influences I have are, like, I would say, more modern music, because I don't want to be like stuck in the 80s. Times moved on, and so does electronic music. So there are really lots of super interesting artists out there. I really love Moderat Apparat from Berlin, which who really blend the layers between analog, digital, between really classic songwriting and but also experimental um, experimental electronic sounds, and really beat driven, but you always have a voice and an interesting song idea. Tom York, Radiohead, Trente Möller, but also
Sure.
guys like Niels Frahm, who really blend the lines between classical, analog, electronic. Yeah, these are my
Yeah,
influences.
that's good. Now, you just mentioned the Berlin Modular Society, and you do that in your social post. I know you have this meeting after these interviews, so of course you made me curious about it. So, what is the main purpose of this entity? And for the people who live in Berlin or nearby, how can you become a member?
Yeah. So when I started my modular journey, so I'm making electronic music since 2002. Before that, I was playing more in classic, in like alternative rock pop bands. But I started my modular journey, and you can maybe see here rack, and also in the second video. I
Wow.
started this journey with a modular in 2019. And I was always looking for playing live and performing live and reaching out to people, finding people, like-minded people. And I know that Berlin is like one of these cities for modular, for electronic modular music. You have this big store, Schneidersladen in Berlin, which is one of the major stores all over the world for modular. You have the Super Booth, which is this yearly trade fair focused on modular. So there's a lot going on. And when I started my modular journey, I didn't know anybody. And I thought, I want to reach out to people. I want to do collaborations because I have very good experience with collaborations. And one day I found these guys who were doing this Berlin Modular Society. And it was during Corona, so they did live streams. And I asked them, how can I perform in your live stream? And they said, no problem. You're on the list for next time. And I thought, okay, now I'm gonna have a live gig. And the guys were super lovely and really absolutely open. So it was quite easy and nice to just reach out and to get to know the people and to learn more about them. So the Berlin Modular Society, it's a group of 6 people at the moment who are organizing live electro modular performances in clubs, and we're doing this on a monthly base. So today it's BMS number 37, so it's already the 37th live performance we are having on a nice rooftop bar today. It's called the Klunkerkranich. Really super nice location. So lovely people, nice environment, super friendly people. So how do you get into that group? I played a couple of concerts for them, and you're then kind of in this part of this outer circle of all the artists who are collaborating, playing, and being in exchange. And one day I was asking the guys, because I'm doing in my day job lot of agile coaching and project management, and I was asking the guys, hey, what you're doing, this must be so much amount of work. Can I help you in some way? And they said, now, since you're asking, that would be great. And since then, and this was last October, I'm like in the inner circle, in the organization committee, so to say. And so it's really lovely to reaching out to all these artists, to organize the events, to be there as a group, and also meet like other people. For example, at one of the Berlin Modular Society events, I met Jamie Liddell and the True Cuckoo, which is who is also quite a famous modular musician. So it's a super nice group. And if we are on Instagram under Berlin Modular Society, we have a website, berlinmodularsociety.com. And if any modular artist in or out of Berlin is interested to reach out to us, we have a submission form, and just send us, drop us an email.
That's great. Thank you. Now, we already learned that living in Berlin, of course, makes your life easier in terms of facilities and acquiring gear and stuff like that. What about inspiration, though? Does living in Berlin help you also with that, you think, or not really?
I would say yes, absolutely. I mean, given the community, given the people, also the how easy it is, like, to reach out to people. I mean, it's everything is so close here in this space, and the community is quite small, so everybody knows everybody. And I'm also expecting to meet known people today at the event. But what I really love about Berlin, and this is also kind of liberating me in a way in my music, this openness of culture in Berlin. So in Berlin, it's really super easy to blend genres, to not doing like one specific thing and doing this. And when you're kind of getting away a bit from the cliches, people already look at you, hey, what are you doing? You're not following the rules. And in Berlin, it's just people just don't care, or they're even more interested when you're doing when you're bringing in a special twist. And I'm not so much involved in other cities' electronic communities, but I heard from other cities that maybe this openness is quite Berlin-specific thing, I would say.
I think I agree. I mean, I lived 6 years in Munich, and Bavarians are a bit stricter, I would say, in lots of things. Even though I had a lovely time, but I can hear you on that. Now, in your composition process, how do you manage to combine a good songwriting with the sound design? Because both elements are very important, as we know.
So I would say I have different approaches. Sometimes I'm just walking around and out of a sudden, like a melody line comes to my mind, and then I need to record it. And back in the studio, I'm gonna play with chords and playing with some with some beats and stuff. Another approach is that I'm just experimenting with a maybe with a modular patch, and I just wanna do some beat driven experimental stuff. But I'm always ending when I have set up a patch and playing a bit with that, and I'm thinking that's really sounding nice. I'm always ending in the next second with a melody and with a chord progression and with a musical idea, because this is what has to come first, like from my understanding and in my music. So I'm always looking for a melodic idea, a song theme. So that's what I need for my music. So the sound design, of course, it's super important, but it has to transport the music idea. And sound design on its own, it's nice, but from my point of view, there's missing something. So I'm always trying to come from the musical idea, and sometimes I have like song titles in my mind where like musical ideas come from. So for example, I was having one day I was having piano lessons, and my piano teacher asked me, do you know diminished chords? So diminished like in C major. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is C major, and this is C diminished. And when you play this just behind, and so on. And I thought this is really nice, just to have a song which is like just in the harmonies of C, but C major. I'm always writing songs in minor, always. So I started with C major and then C diminished, and at the same time I was at the Baltic Sea on an island called Hiddensee. I don't know if you know it. It's near Rügen.
Yes, I will interview a guy who lives there actually very soon. So that's why I know about it.
That's nice. I think I know that guy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So, and I was on that island, and I thought the song that I'm just writing, with this C and diminished C chord progression, and I thought this diminished C, it's like a hidden C, and I'm on Hidden See, and I thought this is a song title, Hidden Sea, and then I was writing the lyrics with this kind of mood, imagining some entity on the ground of the sea, and it's coming to life, and it's getting up to the surface, and then it's not hidden anymore. So it's a bit, this was a bit of a musical idea where like chord progression, title, lyrics, and the overall sound design really worked together quite a lot, and it just felt so naturally. So this is what
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Thanks a lot. Now you have to focus on the next question because it's a very serious one, and you have to complete the following sentence. Life without arpeggiators is.
I would say, oh, that's a tricky question. I would say, I would say life without arpeggiators is like a life where all music would just be esoteric ballads. Because, well, I think what is an arpeggio? An arpeggio is a very melodic line that it's repeating. So it's you have a buildup of an energetic flow, right? So and taking this away from a song, you would just have a pad sound. So it would just be flat, but you don't have this kind of the kind of flow you also have when you're running, for example. And this is, but you also have in arpeggios quite easy and super progressions, and or even super disharmonic stuff. So like in modern techno, where it's really like you have all different kinds of notes and half notes, but it's built into an arpeggio, so it sounds cool and natural and nice in a way. And I don't know, Sergio, if you know that song from Jean-Michel Jarre with the same title, Arpeggiator.
I can't remember it now, to be honest. Maybe I heard it.
It's, I think, on his Concerts in China live album from 81.
Okay, I have to check it then.
And I remember that. I remember that quite clearly because this was also one of those songs where my jaw dropped when I heard this the first time. It's like when this kind of bass arpeggio started. In that song, it was like, what is that sound? It's so energetic, but it's also so meditating and concentrated in a way, and also building up this melody line. This is also what fascinates me. And if you listen to my music, I'm having sequences and arpeggios in really every song, and I'm working with live arpeggios also a lot in my live music, and bring in chord progressions in that way, with different voices building on top of each other. So I would say life without arpeggios would be a poor life.
Well, I know that's why I asked you this question. It was not a coincidence. It's because I know how your music sounds like. So I had the impression that you really love to use arpeggios.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about shopping. So when you buy a new module, how does the process start? I mean, do you start with I need this, and then you look maybe in internet or in a shop for the best deal, or do you just fall in love with the product and then buy it even though maybe you don't really need it?
Well, I would say, Sergio, when you look at my modular system, it kind of partly answers the question, so to say. Well, I was starting 2019, and I produced all my music back then completely with software instruments in the computer, and I bought a couple of modules because I wanted to build up an effect rack with like nice delay and chorus and reverb effects. And I went to Schneidersladen and told them, and they looked at me and said, "Really? Well, you will see." And so and I started to get absolutely fascinated then, and that's this really nice book, Patch and Tweak, where like all different aspects of modular synthesizers are explained. And reading that, I thought, yeah, obviously I need that, and I need that, and I also need this, and also need this kind of utility module. Okay, so then I started collecting, and now it has changed a bit, because I'm owning now, like I would say, literally everything I would need for all kinds of sound design. When you would ask me, okay, can you do frequency modulation? Can you build up like a really complex oscillator? Can you build up amplitude modulation? This effect, this effect, this effect. I would say yes. I have one or two modules for nearly everything, so I'm a bit more selecting at the moment. So I have a couple of manufacturers I really love, and when they bring something new, I'm always interested automatically, because those modules, they are so intelligently designed and well worked out. So one of my absolute favorite company is Instro, the guys from Scotland. They're building not only really super modules with a super nice visual design, but also the signal flow and the ideas they have to make it easier musically, in a musical way. This is really good. I met from Shakmat from Belgium at one of the last Berlin Modular Society events. They're super nice people, and yeah, in the meantime, I think I bought like 6 or 7 modules from them, and they're also really nice. I love the guys from Xeoc Devices, from Eastern Europe, and I've also supported Instruments of Things, which they have started as a in a Kickstarter campaign. It's like my specific love for different manufacturers, but I'm also in love with like oscillators with a different sound design approach. So, for example, this new Make Noise stereo oscillator, the XPO, I am finding really super interesting, because you have like I think 10 or more outputs of waveforms. You can mix, you can mangle, you can use this module just as a nearly standalone in a live performance. So this is like a few aspects when it comes to
I
buying new
see.
modules.
That's cool. Thank you. Now, you seem to be more interested in publishing live albums than studio albums, at least looking at what is available on Spotify. Why is that?
Well, it's not that I'm not doing studio music. To the opposite, I would say. I have really a huge backlog of songs to be finished. I'm working on. But in studio work, I'm a kind of a perfectionist, so I'm always kind of listening back to stuff and thinking, yeah, this is not good enough. I need to change that. And I know that my last really studio release is I think back in 2017. And
Yep.
I have released live albums since then, but I have also released really a lot of new music as live versions. And this is just the reason is because it's more easy to release a studio album, because you have to release a live album. I mean, because if you have made a live recording, then it's no way you start editing and you deep dive into that. It's just you have the atmosphere and that's it. You need to end mix and master it and get it out. And with studio work, it's a bit different. So it takes me a lot of more work. But there's really a bunch of new stuff coming now in autumn. So I've just finished the end mix of a new EP called Doomscrolling, which is also quite one of those nice song title ideas I just came along. So I'm gonna releasing this as an EP. It was originally intended to be a single, but I had lots of musical ideas. So in the end, it ended with Doomscrolling 1, Doomscrolling 2, Doomscrolling 3, all based on the same idea, but really different tracks in the end. And I will also release a 10-year anniversary of my and remaster version of my first album, which was released back in 2013, and it's not on Spotify at the moment, so I'm gonna release that in October, November, and there's also a lot of other new songs and titles coming up in the near future. And I would say a new album.
That's good news then.
End of this year,
new material from you. How challenging is it to prepare your stage when you go live, considering you're not one of those artists who need only a laptop and a mixer? Do you bring your stuff with you, or do you mostly rely on what the venue can provide in terms of stage gear and so on?
No, I'm not. So most obviously, and that's I think related to nearly all the artists playing at the Berlin Modular Society too. I'm bringing like my gear, my drum machine, my modular case, and other stuff, and also a small mixing desk to do my mix of my live sound. And I'm just handing over 2 XLR cables, stereo left and right, to the main mixer and to the sound guy, who then takes this into the main mixer at the location. But everything else I'm carrying I'm taking care of my own.
I see. Okay, that's very good. Now we reached the last question, the one where we're going to explore your studio secrets, let's say. And since we're talking modular today, as I said in the presentation, I can't wait to see and hear what you have for us. So let's watch it now.
So this is my modular system. What you can see here is 6 different tip-top Mantis cases. Let me just switch off the synthesizer here for a moment. So what you can see here is 6 tip-top Mantis cases. I have patched up here a couple of modules. This is the live system I'm actually preparing. The mix center here is the Bifaco Hex Mix, and I have a couple of other voices. I play the Electron analog rhythm, which is off screen here. My keyboard controller is, as you can see here, the Keystep Pro from Arturia. And so my other voices are, I use the Mother 32 as a bass sound. Let me just demonstrate it. So it has a quite tight bass sound. I use the drummer from another mother, the DFAM, as a percussion. So, and it all comes to life when I blend in the bass drum. So this is just the bass of the whole pitch, and so other voices Thanks a lot for listening. This was a live version of my new track, Doomscrolling, released within the next month. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Dirk, for this demonstration. It's really nice to learn how a song grows, let's say, and is built and developed using your modules. Now it's time to say goodbye. I know you're busy. You have to go to this meeting with the Modular Society. I know it's going to be a lot of fun as usual. So thanks a lot for everything, for educating us. And well, till next.
Thanks a lot for your time, Sergio, and for reaching out, and really looking forward to seeing the final video, and also super interesting to maybe if someone of the people who watches the video is interested in reaching out to me and have some more questions or interested in my music, just would be happy.
Absolutely, that's one of the purpose of this podcast, in fact. So thanks a lot to clarify that and for making this offer. Okay, bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.